Social studies. All right. And open your textbooks to 61. Actually, let us do, we're going to do this. So I want you to turn to page 64 in your textbook.
Actually, in ours, it's. Wait, 64?
64 in, or 36 in your manual, and 64 in your textbook.
I'm on 64 in my textbook.
Yeah, and that is the picture
Wait.
that's what you need to have.
What page in the manual?
In page 36 in your manual. So there are different branches of government, types of government. There is a national branch of government. There is a state branch of government, and there is a local branch of government. So with that said, where do you think the national government is? Here in Madison? Where do you think the national government is? Cole? Yes, Washington, D.C. Every state, we are in the state of Wisconsin, has its own capital. Where is Wisconsin's capital? Ella? Yeah, Madison. And we live in Madison, Wisconsin. So if you live in Madison, Wisconsin, or Dane County, you have a local government. Whatever county, every state is divided into different counties. We live in Dane County. Has everybody ever heard that before, Dane County? Does that sound familiar? Okay.
A little.
So Dane County has its own branch. I was going to say military. No, government. So let us read on page 64 to give us a little more of an idea. Who would like to start reading?
The state government is like the national government. The national government has a president, Congress, and courts to govern the nation.
All right, so let's stop right there. What branch of military, why am I saying military? What branch of government is the president in? Luke? Yes. What branch is Congress in? Toby? Legislative. And what branch is the law or the judges in? McKenna? Judicial. Very good. All right, you may keep going. Courts, I should have said. So you ended at a legislature. A legislature is a group of
representatives who pass laws. The local government has a mayor and court. Many local governments have a city council. A local government governs a country or a city in a state.
So a local government governs a what? Look at that closely. Is it a country or is it a different word? County. Remember I said Dane County? So each county has a representative or a city in a state. All right, who wants to read the next paragraph? Olivia.
When Americans moved west, they left behind their state and their local government. The settlers moved to territory, land owned by a national government.
Bless you.
There were no local governments in territory. Settlers had to
Govern.
in their own communities. They had to work out how to get along with their neighbors on
Good.
their own.
All right, so before this is we're talking about the Western movement, so we're going to go back to that. But that top paragraph is concerning this little fun diagram that you get to fill out. So you see on the top, it says national. And if you read in the first paragraph, it gives you all the right things to write in. So the national branch of government has 3 different types of government or branches of government. So we have the executive, the legislature, and the what branch of government on the national level? Grant.
Judicial?
Yes. So what do you think you're going to write in the first box? So what is the type? So it's confusing because on the test you had to write the branch, which was executive, legislature, and judicial. But this you're going to write the people who govern over it. So who is in the executive branch of government? That's the head honcho. Jeremiah. President. So you're going to write president in this box. Who is the head of the legislative branch? Emmy. Congress. So you're going to write Congress above. And then who is in charge? Who is the people that run the judicial system? You could say this says one, but I'd also would accept a different. Owen.
Court.
Yes, the courts. Very good. Or better, who is in the courts? The Supreme Court. Yes. So that is the national. So let's go down to state. A state government has what? It says it right there. We don't have a president, but we have who is the head? Who do we vote in? He is kind of like the president of Wisconsin, but much different. Cole. Governor. So write governor. It also has a governor, a what? James. A legislature. Very good. And what else? Legislature and, boy, courts. Very good. To govern the state. So the national level and the state level are similar. We have a Supreme Court in Madison at the Capitol. We have a Congress. What is going on?
Must be upstairs, right?
Must be up.
Goodness sakes, it sounds like a herd of elephants. This has been a very interesting day. We had voices coming through our speakers. Now it sounds like the ceiling's going to fall in.
Yeah.
But anyways, it has and the state has governor, legislature, and a court. So they're very similar, the national and the state. The local is different. What does the local government have? It has a local government governs a county or a city in a state. So what does it have? It has Helen,
Mayor.
a mayor. Emmy,
City.
council. Very good, city council. And one more thing. Winsheen, courts. Very good. So these, friends, is the government organizer. This is what shows you what each type of government is, whether it be national, state, or local. What does the local mean again? What is local government? What does that reside over? Why don't you just do a little review? M,
Does it the country or the county?
the county. So we are in Dane County. So we have a mayor of Madison, of Dane County, a city council, and it does have courts. What about state? What does that govern over? It kind of gives you the answer. Jack.
Governor?
Right, but what does the government govern over? So we live in the state of what?
Wisconsin?
Yes, and what is our state, where is our state capital? We already talked about. Where, yeah. So each state has a state capital with a fancy building where all the politicians go to work. So that they reside over the state. And then we have the national, which is where? Where is that capital? It's kind of a big thing. Just kind of. It's Dyson.
White House.
Yes, where is the White House?
I don't remember.
Sam.
Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. That is where the president, the vice president, the Supreme Court, Congress, and Senate, who make the laws for the whole country, not county, country. A lot going on. So all of this was decided or was created with the Constitutional Convention that we just studied. A lot came from that. So let's read about the Western Settlement. And then you're going to do, we're going to read some of this, and then you're going to work on this, and whatever you don't get done is going to be homework. So this Western Settlement page, on page 37 is where I'm at in your manual. What would you say the Western Settlement is? So how many states did we have after the Revolutionary War? How many states? If you look on page 46 of your textbook, turn to page 46. This is how many states did we have? Owen?
13.
Yes. So, and they're all on the coast of the Atlantic Ocean. And then you have all of this land. And if you had a compass, north, south, west, east. If you go east, I don't think you can settle that. What is that? Be very difficult unless you had lots of scuba gear. Tyson.
The Atlantic.
Yeah, I don't think we can settle in the east, but we can settle on the what? Whereas there is tons and tons of land. What direction is that, friends? Somebody tell us. Say.
West.
West. Oh, where's my map? Should have made it out. So the whole western United States had nobody living on it. It was, well, Native Americans, but there were no settlements. So here are the 13 states. Look at all this land. Yeah, wow is right. So here we are up here. This is the only area that has been settled. This is all unknown land, unknown territory, a lot of land. So do you think people are going to eventually grow out of the 13 states? Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Yes. So here we are. Well, they didn't even go down to Florida.
Florida's where I want to go.
I mean, obviously, we don't worry. Florida will exist. Disney World will happen.
Yay.
But look at all of this that has to yet be settled. here's south, here's west, and east.
That's a big piece of land.
It is a big piece of land. It's a lot of land. So obviously, since we are here, it gets discovered, people start living, and we start having more land to the United States that are settled. That is what the Western settlement is, friends. The Western movement away from the 13 initial states to the west of those 13 initial states, original states. So, do you think there was a piece of cake to settle all of that land?
No.
Who owned it? Tyson.
Nobody.
Well, the Indians, but the Indians didn't really own anything. Not like we own things. They didn't buy land and then hang on to that land forever and ever and ever. They used the land, they migrated when the animals migrated, and then they moved on. Now, the Indians had territories. You had different Indian territories, but for the most part, they did not have a lot of ownership as far as land. They didn't understand or abide by that concept. So let us read on page 61 to get a better idea of what's going on. Banks, cities, and trade were not the only concerns of the government. It also had to take care of people moving west. A lot of people are moving west. We need to go, but okay. So, George Washington, and who is he? Who is George Washington? Jack. Our first president. Wanted this to happen in a slow and planned way. Many Indians still lived in the West. They did not like many new people moving into their lands, understandable.
Yep.
Washington did not want to wrong the Indians. The Indians still controlled much land in the West, so the national government separated the other land into even parts. People were allowed to buy only large sections of land. Washington wanted wealthy and virtuous people to start towns with schools. So I understand, so Washington wanted wealthy Americans to buy huge chunks of land and start schools and towns. Does that sound right?
Yeah. No.
What if you aren't wealthy? Does that mean you can't settle this land and be a farmer and get your own little piece of the Western territory? Let's read on. So let's just file that. But American settlers did not follow the government's plan. They did not think that the government could sell land that nobody lived on. If nobody was using the land, it should be free to take. But when settlers looked for land, the Indians often told them it was being used. The Indians used the land for hunting, even if they did not live there. American settlers kept moving farther west. The Indians were not happy. Many Indians wanted to fight for their land. All right, so now we have another issue coming up. What is brewing? Animosity between settlers and who? Jeremiah.
Indian.
Yes. Who had the land first? Wensheen.
Indian.
Yes. So here we go again. Why is it that people always have to fight? Can't we all just get along?
Yeah.
No, I don't think we can. I wish we could. So Washington and Henry Knox did not want to push the Indians out of their land. Knox thought the Indians had a right to the land. They lived there first. But as settlers moved west, they fought with the Indians. All right, so now this is what I want you to do for the remaining time. What did I have written down on the whiteboard for homework? For social studies?
These pages. And read page 61 and 62.
So guess what you're going to do? I worked with the first page of 61. I want you to go through from 62, 63. We already did 64, but you might have questions on Western settlement from that, okay? Because that's part of it. So really all you have to do is read 62, 63, we've read 64, and we have read 61. And I want you to fill this out. All right? Now, look for bold words. Not all the words are bold, but you may start working now.